I've had the SpringWell CF1 running in my house for 3 years. I've changed the sediment filter a handful of times, I've tested the water twice with an independent lab, and I've learned a few things along the way that most reviews won't tell you. This is my honest take, the good, the not so good, and the 3 things I'd do differently if I were installing this today. Quick disclosure before we get into it. SpringWell sent this system at no cost, but my policy is the same regardless. The lab testing was independent, both reports are published at qualitywaterlab.com, and the data drives the conclusion. Most reviews in this space test 2 weeks after install and call it done. What I have is a baseline before this system went in, and a second test after 3 years of daily use, and that's really the whole point of this video. The tank ship's pre-filled with media, so plan for the wait when it arrives. The 48-hour pre-flush is mandatory. SpringWell includes a hose bib assembly in the box. You connect a garden hose, fill the tank, and let the carbon media soak. The water runs dark at first, which is completely normal, and after 48 hours, you flush twice until it runs clear. The install itself is straightforward if you have basic plumbing experience, but here's the first thing I do differently, and it's something SpringWell doesn't emphasize enough. The bypass valve that comes with the system isn't sufficient on its own, and here's why that matters. When it's time to service the sediment filter, you have to shut water off to the whole system, and if something goes wrong during that process, you're without water in the house until you sort it out. A proper isolation bypass installed above the system fixes that completely. It's cheap, it's a few extra fittings, and you'll be glad you have it the first time you need to do maintenance. One more install decision worth mentioning. I bypassed my outdoor irrigation lines entirely. There's no reason to run filtered water to your sprinkler system, so I kept it where it actually matters. The CF1 uses an upflow design where water enters from the bottom and travels upward through a blend of KDF and catalytic carbon media. The KDF handles heavy metals and helps extend the life of the carbon, while the catalytic carbon does the main work, targeting chlorine, chloramine, VOCs, and other compounds commonly found in city water. After the tank, there's a post-sediment filter that catches any carbon fines coming out of the media, which is different from how most systems are designed. It comes in 3 sizes depending on your home's flow rate. I have the CF1, which handles up to 9 gallons per minute and is sized for up to 3 bathrooms. Day to day, this system is completely invisible. No alerts, no pressure complaints, nothing to think about. The first thing I noticed after install was the smell. That chlorine hit when you turned on the tap was just gone. Showers felt cleaner almost immediately, and the water tasted different in a way that's hard to describe until you experience it yourself. The sediment filter gets changed every 6 to 9 months. I land around the 8-month mark, and over 3 years, that's put me at 4 or 5 changes at about $20 each. Outside of the media replacement down the road, that's really your only ongoing cost. The signal that it's time for a change? A subtle pressure drop. We're talking 1 to 2 psi. My wife noticed it before I did. That's how subtle it is, but it's consistent. When the pressure dips slightly, the filter is telling you something. Which brings me to the third thing I'd change about this system. The housing is solid blue. You can't see the filter condition without shutting everything down and opening it up. A small inspection port you could open and close without taking the system offline would make maintenance decisions a lot easier. It's a minor thing, but after doing this several times, you start to wish you could just take a quick look before committing to a full change. The signal that it's time, a subtle pressure drop, 1 to 2 psi. My wife noticed it before I did. That's how subtle it is, but it's consistent and reliable. When the pressure dips, the filter is telling you something. Before this system went in, I sent a water sample to TapScore, an independent certified lab, advanced city water test. Here's what came back. My water had elevated levels of disinfection byproducts, compounds that form when chlorine reacts with organic matter in the distribution system. This is common in municipally treated water. Your utility isn't doing anything wrong, but they were present in my water at levels flagged above the health guidance benchmark. 3 compounds detected and flagged individually. Chloroform was the primary one, nearly 100 times above the health guidance level. 2 others were also flagged. All of that is essentially what that chlorine smell is. Disinfection chemistry doing its job in the distribution system, ending up at your tap. Now here's the 2025 report, 3 years later. All 3 flagged compounds, not detected. Total disinfection byproducts, not detected. 3 years of daily use, and everything that showed up in 2022 is completely gone. That's the chlorine smell, that's the taste difference, and that's what this system is designed to do, confirmed over a real timeline rather than a 2-week test. Iron was also present at baseline and came back not detected in 2025 as well, which shows the catalytic carbon handling trace metals on top of everything else. Now, here's the part most reviews don't go to. Lead showed up in the 2025 test at a trace level. It wasn't detected at baseline in 2022, and it flagged above the health guidance level. I want to explain exactly what happened, because this is important. After investigating, I found a failing braided supply line under my kitchen sink, and that was the source, not the filter. I replaced the line and the issue was resolved. I'm showing you this because unexpected results in a post-filter test aren't always about the filter itself. Test your water, trace the source, and don't assume. Two more honest disclosures before I wrap up the data. Fluoride wasn't detected in my baseline test, so I genuinely can't make any claims about fluoride removal. It simply wasn't in my water to begin with, and if that's your primary concern, the system isn't designed to address it. The minerals, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, are still present in the 2025 results, and that's completely intentional. A whole house carbon filter isn't designed to strip minerals, and your water chemistry staying intact is actually what you want. One last note on the lab side. The CF1 as a complete system doesn't carry an official NSF certification, though individual components are NSF certified. SpringWell acknowledges this, and it's a lengthy, costly process for high-capacity systems. Our lab results speak for themselves, but it's worth knowing if full system certification matters to you. The CF1 is built for city water, chlorine, chloramine, disinfection byproducts, VOCs. The data confirms that over a real timeline, it won't soften your water, it won't remove fluoride, it's not the right starting point for well water. I paired mine with an undersink RO for drinking water. Not because the CF1 falls short, but because I wanted that extra layer at the kitchen tap. Personal preference, not a requirement. 3 years, 2 independent lab tests, 4 to 5 filter changes, and no issues with the system itself. The chlorine smell is gone, the water tastes great, and the lab data 3 years later backs all of it up. SpringWell provided this unit at no cost. But if I had to pay full price tomorrow, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't hesitate. Both full tap score reports are at qualitywaterlab.com, along with how the CF1 compares to every other system we've tested. And I've linked the system in the description with a discount code if you decide it's the right fit. If you have questions about the install, the data, or anything else, leave them in the comments. This isn't a first impression. It isn't a 2-week install test. It's 3 years of daily use backed by independent lab testing, and the data speaks for itself.